Have you ever tried to climb a mountain? That's esports, a tightrope walk. A single misstep, and you'll fall to your death. It's an aspiration, like a star, a rainbow, the aurora borealis. You are the bone of your sword. Through blood, sweat, and tears, you craft your own blade to be unsheathed, stuck, and left. Show the world where you've been, how high you climbed. As you hook down the next flag, you climb a couple meters higher. You've trained for this very moment. The execution must be flawless. You're too used to seeing backs, always running, always chasing. Standing at the summit, immortalized. You want it, you crave it, so you climb. The height is in sight, you lunge with vigor. Too eager. Your handhold crumbles, footholds sink. Those voices in your head, previously cheering, are silent. You fall into darkness, crunching as you paint the ground red. Awakening in a cold sweat, dreams morph into reality. Reality melts into dreams. Ghastly premonitions of what's to come. You lick your wounds. There's still a long way to go. And so, the climb begins again.
The year 1985, the first video game was created. Physicist William Higginbotham created what is documented to be the very first video game in history, a simple tennis game application. This creation went on to inspire the 1970s classic Pong. As technology developed and the internet emerged, the ability to make cooler looking, more responsive games became a reality. With platformers like Super Mario, puzzle games like Myst, and horror games like Amnesia: The Dark Descent, gaming soon spurred into a competitive and lucrative industry. With faster processing speeds and more stable connections on the web, the rise of a new era of gaming emerged in the form of online play. At the height of the internet's infancy, a certain Will Crowther wasted no time in creating the very first multiplayer online RPG, Adventure. Adventure was a text-based RPG, or role-playing game, where, as the name describes, had the player playing the role of a dungeon-crawling adventurer, and pitted them against the hordes of deadly monsters with hopes and aspirations of finding rewards in the form of riches and, of course, bragging rights. But it didn't stop there. Immersive adventure games like Will Crowther's Adventure and other similar games like Zork and Maze War would only stay in for a little while, as bigger and bigger titles soon snatched their spots as the most popular games. As the technology era slid in, bigger MMO games such as Ultima Online and The Realm Online soon dethroned the classic dungeoneering giants. With the addition of memorable titles like Blizzard's World of Warcraft, Ubisoft's Shadowbane, and even Disney's 2003 entry, Toontown, the number of people jumping on the MMO bandwagon soon soared into the millions. But even then, people only played games for fun, right? Wrong. Some games that required a bit more skill to play and thrived in competitive game environments like Nintendo's Super Smash Bros. Melee and StarCraft Brood War soon gained a form of cult following. Players would spend hours on end playing, learning, and mastering the game. Fanatics of the game would organize small local tournaments with equally small prize pools. However, it did not take very long for the big game companies to realize there was a genuine interest in playing their games for money, a golden opportunity to increase exposure to their game to the public. Many bigger companies started hosting their own official tournaments for players to discover, train, and get excited for. These games tested the mettle of the highest ranked players with the incentive of big cash prizes in the end. StarCraft and Melee being some of the earliest official competitive games. This ushered in a revelatory age of competitive online gaming, or as more commonly known modernly as esports. Esports or electronic sports is an entire market and business for those passionate for gamers to show off their skill. One of the current day giants of the esports industry is League of Legends. League of Legends is a massive online battle arena or MOBA type game, where teams of players work together to ultimately take down their opponent's base and win the game. As with any game with competitive aspects, there will always be some players that are better than others. One such player, Kevin Sentinel Pyres, is a professional, meaning that, as bizarre as it sounds, he gets paid to play this game. Kevin Sentinel Pyres, born April 29, 1998, is one of the North America's top performing junglers currently in the professional League of Legends esports scene. Previously playing for the team Phoenix One, he and his teammates were the only team to take a win off the defending champions Team Solo Mid. Currently, he plays for Team Tempo Storm with famed teammates Quas, Hatrix, Sheep, and Europe's own marksman legend Freeze. Here's Tempo Storm's current starting jungler, Sentinel, with some insight on what it's like to be like a professional player.
It took a lot of convincing from my parents because they always wanted me to do, like, they didn't go to college growing up, so they wanted me to go to college, like, first thing out of high school, and obviously become, like, successful, like a doctor or a teacher or something. And like, when I first told them, they were 100% against it. But I mean, I explained to them, it's something that it's like once in a lifetime opportunity to get, and you can't just pass up these kinds of things. So when I told them and explained to that, like, it took the day I told them that I wanted to play professionally was 2 weeks before I had to leave to go to California, and I live in New York, so it was a long travel. And over those 2 weeks, I convinced them, and then I flew out. And then after those 2 weeks, I had to convince them furthermore for like 3 months so that I could come out now. And I'm staying here for a while and now playing. Because before it was only for 2 to 3 weeks I would be staying, but now I'm staying here for months. So yeah, their first reaction was definitely no, but they came through.
For many players, playing games professionally wasn't even a presence in their mind when thinking about their career paths.
Playing in the LCS was so fun. Like, even though I didn't perform too well, it was definitely an experience I'll remember forever. Like, everything about it, like, it felt pretty surreal, because I thought it was just, you go there, you play games for just like a regular tournament, but everything was like so professional. Like, even I didn't even think they did makeup. Like, when I first went there and then they got called for makeup, that was so weird. It felt like I was on a movie set or something.
Professional esports has only been a recent development over the past decade. Playing a normal sport in a big stadium pretty much comes with the job, but being able to play a video game in front of a large crowd would be a pretty exciting prospect for anyone, especially for someone who never even dreamed of playing games for a living.
I think there was one time where I wanted to quit just because of performance, because the thing with League is it's very cutthroat. So if you're not good enough, then you're not going to make it, and there's always going to be people that want to replace you who are hungrier and like just better than you. So there was one time where I wanted to quit after I played in LCS because I just felt like I wasn't good enough. But after that, like, I just thought it through, and I just figured it would be so stupid to just throw away an opportunity and just go because I feel like I'm not good enough, and the only way to overcome that is just getting better. So I got better, and I proved that I got better to people. So, like, just motivation, and I love competition, so this is like one way that I could compete. So that's why I didn't quit.
Being a professional gamer means you must be in top shape at all times. The number of teams and spots in these teams are, unlike most mainstream sports like soccer and basketball, extremely limited. Many professional players end up quitting because they just aren't good enough.
On a normal practice day, we usually wake up around 9 to 10. So we get 3 to 2 hours of like, take shower, eat breakfast. We play a game before we play our actual practice games. So after that, we start scrims usually around 12, and they go on to 3. So that's usually a best of 3 match, or just 3 games total. And then have like a VOD review session after, so 12 to 3. And then an hour break for lunch, play a solo queue game, whatever. And then after that, it's a 4 to 7 block, which is another 3 games, and then VOD review, stuff like that. And then after that, I usually stay up till around 12 and play solo queue games by myself, or I watch streams and watch VODs of other people play. And then, yeah, go to bed, sleep like around 8 to 9 hours, and then wake up again. I would probably say, like, for me at least, it's probably a 7. It's super stressful to like get adjusting to schedule at first, but I mean, in the end, like, you're doing something that you really like, so it's definitely easier to adjust to it. But it's just like taking defeats is definitely hard, and like learning from it is definitely stressful to people. So that's pretty much where the stress lies. But other than that, like, it's definitely not as laid back, but it's not as intense. So
For many players, stress plays a big factor in being able to perform. Professional gamers more so than even traditional athletes. For most athletes, there's only so much body training you can do a day. However, many high-performing professional teams have a tight schedule that pretty much has them practicing the whole day. And while they aren't practicing, they're streaming or watching other pro players and learning from them. This job requires a lot of commitment.
I would probably say make sure you have a backup plan, because like I said before, it's very cutthroat and you're not guaranteed anything. So if you're a good player, like you're in the top 200, you've shown people that you're a good player, people think you're good, like you talk to pros or something, make sure you don't burn any bridges as well, because you don't know who you'll be working with in like a year from now, and you don't want to like be rude to someone that you're gonna play with in a year, because then they're just gonna remember that and practice environment won't be well. But yeah, I'll just make sure you have a backup plan as well, because you don't want to put everything into the game and then it fails and you have nothing to go to. So make sure you have something like college or a job that you're gonna fall back on. And yeah, if you really want to improve, make sure you just don't half-ass it, because it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So if you're going to do it, have a backup plan and then put your all into it. And yeah, make sure you don't slack, because someone else is going to just take your spot if you do.
The League of Legends professional scene is a highly competitive one, and it being such a cutthroat business means that hardly anyone gets to make it big on the world stage. Zentinel urges players to shoot for their dreams, but also to make sure that they have a plan B in mind. Many avid League players dream large and hope to one day break into the professional scene, but it's not all that easy. Every day, many players are forced to quit due to a plethora of factors. Whether it be the hardships of improving or the mental pressure to do well in front of a huge live audience, many people just aren't made for stardom under the lights of a full roaring stadium. However, one such person thinks he is just that. His name is James Thor Stevenson, and he is not even out of high school. James currently attends high school at Mondale CI as a senior student. He lives at home with his mother, sister, and 2 cats. He's been playing League since the game's beta, or testing stage, in 2008. James is currently ranked 154th in all of America, putting him in the top 0.02% of all players in NA. During November 2016, James put many hours into playing League of Legends to practice for the upcoming Scouting Grounds event, an event hosted once a year where new young talent gets invited to play in a semi-professional tournament in hopes to catch the eyes of professional teams. Scouting Grounds is a direct ticket for young rookies to make their breakthrough in the League of Legends scene. In the heat of competition, James spent an average of more than 6 hours playing League a day. He played more League of Legends than he attended his high school classes in the month of November. As the deadline approached, James played more and more League of Legends. He even skipped morning classes and went home at lunch to practice the game. When the date rolled over, James received a notice that he had qualified for Scouting Grounds and that he should be receiving his plane ticket to Los Angeles by the following Monday. Things were looking up for James, but that would have been much too easy. Monday rolls over, and James receives another email. However, it's not the plane ticket that he was hoping for, but a letter from Riot Games, the game's creator, stating that James, or Consensual Clown, was not allowed to participate in the upcoming Scouting Grounds. James's player experience has always been less than stellar. From the beginning of his gaming career, James has never been the most polite player. In fact, James has 2 different accounts, permanently banned because of toxicity. This streak of negative behavior single-handedly stopped him from reaching Scouting Grounds, and by proxy, his professional legacy. But for many that can't make it big under the lights, there's still another way to make money. Esports over the past years has not only increased awareness of the games featured, but also has opened a new proxy business on the side: streamers. Streamers, short for live streamers, are part of the entertainment business. All they really do is play a game and stream it live for others to see. However, many people who become popular in live streaming, like BoxBox and I'mACutiePie, are popular, like all other entertainers, because of their personality. The advantage of streaming is that you combine the best of both worlds. You catch the audience that loves the game, and the audience that stays for the laughs. In fact, as a business, Streamly heavily outweighs even professional gaming. The most popular League streamer, I'mACutiePie, is an ex-pro. He currently streams daily and earns millions a year off of donations, ad revenue, and sponsorships. He has stated many times over that he would never go back to professional play, as streaming earns him a lot more than playing the game professionally ever had. Over the course of many years, the idea of gaming has transformed from just a niche that only the nerdiest of nerds grouped up for, to small competitions, to full-fledged stadium crowds, and now to live entertainment. Many people question the longevity of games as not only a sport but also a public icon. However, as the gaming industry develops, we see many more people of all age groups now getting into gaming as a form of recreation, work, or a combination of both. By the looks of it, the underdogs that is esports is here to stay for many, many years to come. Thanks for watching.